Welcome to this special edition of Hannity, the Trump Agenda. I'm Jeanine Pirro, in tonight for Sean. President Trump there wrapping up his speech at a Make America Great Again rally in Pensacola, Florida. Joining us with a reaction are American Conservative Union Chairman Matt Schlapp, former Special Assistant to President Trump and former Press Secretary for Vice President Mike Pence, Mark Lotter, and Republican strategist Noel Nickport. All right, I got to tell you, every time I listen to the president speak and get those audiences fired up, I say to myself, there is no one better than the president, than Donald Trump with an audience. I mean, we were the cheering and the sense of Americanism it's infectious. Matt, what do you think?
Yeah, it's electric, and I think, you know, Donald Trump is doing something very important that presidents sometimes fail to do. He's getting out of the bubble. He's piercing the bubble. He's going out there and talking to real Americans. He's feeding off the crowd. It's electric. And I think it really gives him energy. Yeah. And I think it's really important for a leader to go around the country and tell him what he wants to do. And my gosh, he didn't leave anything on the table, Judge.
Well, and it's clear, Mark, that Matt is correct. He hit every note, whether it was the, sanctuary cities, the Second Amendment, religious freedom, Buy American. What's your take from this speech?
Two things. One, he's doing exactly what he said he was going to do on the campaign trail. And two, every time you see the fake news about how he's not having a good time in the White House, trust me, this man loves being president of the United States and taking it in the direction to make America great again. And you saw it tonight. Oh,
without a doubt. And Noel, what do you take away from tonight?
You know what, Judge Jeanine? America needed this tonight. America needed this speech. I was about to jump through the camera when I was listening to this. I was so proud to be an American. Yeah. And he puts America first. And we needed this right now with all the division between the parties, between the GOP. And then another thing is, he just listed why he is the champion. He's the mascot for the middle class, for the working American. I mean, this is such passion, and you know he loves this. He's not reading off teleprompters. This is his heart. This is who he is, and this is why he ran for the presidency. And look at the markets that, that are enjoying the ride of a good economy. We're back on track, and America felt it tonight.
And, and I'll go back to you, Matt. One of the things he talked about, which was, one of the more interesting points is when he talked about the fake news media. I thought he said, maybe with the drop in the 350 points when Brian Ross came out with that, some would say inaccurate or fake news, some might say a lie about Mike Flynn possibly testifying against the president. He said, you know what? They ought to sue ABC. That was a shocker. Do you think that was an ad lib, or you think that one was in the speech?
A class action lawsuit for their losses in their 401ks. I think what you see at the end there is he comes back to the themes that he ran on, and you hear the cadence of those familiar lines. But in the middle of it, Judge, it's all coming from Trump's heart. Yeah. It's spontaneous. It's what he feels. It's coming right out. And I do think he has a grievance with the media, Judge. He was not talking about you, by the way. Look, conservatives have been trying to prosecute this case against the left-wing, left-leaning media for decades after decades, for generations. And he comes in with this concept of fake news. And I think the American people really realize they don't want to hear it anymore.
And you know what? I mean, he opened everyone's eyes. In the beginning, he thought, Mark, maybe, this fake news, that's ridiculous. But I think people are understanding it really is fake news, that there is stuff that is inaccurate, that is outright lies. But, Mark, one of the things that he said that I wasn't aware of, the president said that black home ownership is the highest that it's ever been in the history of this country. You think anybody would give him credit for this? And did you even know this, Mark?
I did not know it until we heard him say it tonight. But when you look at the economic record of this president, it is so remarkable. We had the new numbers come out today. I mean, manufacturing, Obama was losing 1,000 jobs a month in his final year. This president's adding 16,000 manufacturing jobs a month. He said he was going to rebuild American manufacturing. He's doing it. So many of these things you're not going to hear unless the president gets out there and says it himself, and that's what you saw tonight on full display.
And finally, you know, Noel, when he said something interesting, he talked about $7 trillion that we have spent in the Middle East. He said, you know, we could rebuild the infrastructure of this country 3 times over. What do you think he was saying? I mean,
I think he was telling Americans, look how much waste is out there. Look at what we're doing. This is why a businessman, this is why his leadership, under his leadership, we've had massive job creation. We have a rallying stock market. We have basically making America great again. I know that sounds oversimplifying things, but that's exactly his message, and that's what's happening. And anyone that says, oh, whatever, Donald Trump's not doing anything, look at the numbers. I mean, the economy's not lying. The fact that people have money in their pocket, it's not lying.
Well, and the prediction is much more. Anyway, I want to thank all 3 of you for joining us. And President Trump is vowing to push forward on his promise to build a wall on the southern border and restore order in our immigration system. Joining us now to debate these topics are GOPAC Chairman David Avella and immigration attorney Francisco Hernandez. All right, guys, David, I'll start with you. I mean, as it relates to the wall, the president made it real clear that this is still on the front burner for him.
He even made it more clear at this week's cabinet meeting, Judge, when on Kirstjen Nielsen, the new Homeland Security Secretary,
congratulations to her.
On her new first day on the job, someone in that cabinet meeting told me he repeatedly said to her, build the wall, build the wall, build the wall. He is very crystal clear on this, and when you think about that in the context of the upcoming budget battle, it is amazing to think that the Democrats are going to stop funding for veterans' homes, for crisis counseling centers, and many other important programs just so they can keep illegal immigrants here.
All right, and I suspect, Francisco, that you might have a different take, but what was your take?
Well, he's talking like the Democrats are in charge of Congress. Democrats are going to do this away with this funding. But look, if President Trump is right, the illegal immigration is down 70%, I guess problem solved. We don't need the wall. Let's get on to immigration reform. Come on, there's a lot of rhetoric, but he can't even get his Congress to authorize 1 brick for the wall.
But you know what? When you say problem solved, I mean, you can't help but, Francisco, look at the news and see some of the problems that are happening. The opioid epidemic and the drugs coming from the border. But there's still 30%. There's still a what?
Okay, by next year we'll be down to 0.
David, I'll let you take it.
By next year we'll be down to 0, I guess.
Well, let's make sure we are. Go ahead, David.
Guys,
this issue on the border, and Judge, you have been down there. You know the challenges we face with people being able to bring harmful, particularly our enemies, bringing harmful things into our country. And this is more than
that we're not consuming.
This is just more than a personal security issue for Americans. This is an economic security. All you need is one of our enemies to bring a bomb across this border and blow up the Hoover Dam or blow up an electrical grid, and the economic damage could be catastrophic for this country.
They were here legally, and they stole a plane. They didn't walk across the border with a bomb. Come on, guys, let's get real about it. We're going to have to legalize 100,000 Mexicans to build a wall. Let's get going.
All right, Francisco, you want to get real? What about what the president said when he said Hispanic unemployment in this nation is at an all-time low? And I think he said something like Hispanics weren't going to, they said they weren't going to vote for me. Well, they want the wall too. They want security. And Hispanic unemployment was not at an all-time low with President Obama.
I get it. I get it, but that's, citizen Hispanics, I'm okay with that. I agree with him. There's nothing wrong, but it has nothing to do with immigration.
Oh, see, okay.
Nothing.
Do you want to give him credit for that?
I did, but it has nothing to do with immigration. He can't even get, we can't even get illegal immigration right now. They want to reform legal immigration. I mean, really, guys? And
yeah,
that's both
you know why he
sides,
wants to
Democrats
reform
and
legal
Republicans.
immigration? Because when you have a lottery system and people come in and kill us, it's a problem. David, 10 seconds. What's your
I'm with
last
you on
thought?
that. Yes, ma'am.
The president got elected in part because of his pledge to secure the border. Americans expect it, and the president is determined to deliver it.
All right. Thanks, gentlemen. And coming up, President Trump blasts obstructionist Democrats during his Make America Great Again rally in Florida. That and more as this special edition of Hannity continues.